Buongiorno, my darlings. I hope you are having beautiful, blessed days today. As I record this, it is the 5th of June, 2023, and today we are going to be talking about Saturn in Pisces. As the title states, like, mental health is no joke right now, and having a foundation for that is absolutely no joke. I'm going to talk a little bit about the transits, why that's happening. We're going to kind of just deep dive into it. I have to give a full disclaimer at the beginning, is that, like, I am not a medical professional. I do not have any letters after my last name. I can only speak from I statements, and I'm Sarah. I am a healer, light worker, starseed, a spiritual counselor, someone who has been so blessed to have, mental health issues growing up. Anxiety, depression, that's something that I still am dealing with to this day. And I can only offer the tools that have worked for me. And knowing and understanding the astrology, I find to be a really incredible tool to give a little bit of why we're going through what we're going through. But some of these transits that are happening, that are coming up this month, are real heavy hitters. And we're going into a multidimensional time and space where it's just like, magic is real, and our dreams and our thoughts are creating the reality around us. And, we have access to all of our past lives. We have access to all of these understandings, and we're going into unity consciousness, which is, I've talked about, having boundaries in a boundaryless world. I've talked about, past lives of mine where I've experienced, being stabbed in the back, being taken advantage of, all these different things. And so what I'm finding is that if I did not have the foundation of mental health and awareness of what is an intrusive thought, what is anxiety, what is depression, what do these voices in my head sound like when they come through? Is this my higher self? Is this my future self? Is this God? I'm God having a human experience. But so as, not just myself, but many other channelers have talked about, we're going to be having a lot of false prophets coming to be. It can be really, interesting. Like, first, I'll give an I statement. Please actually pause this video, get some coffee and tea, pause. Maybe some water, a journal if you'd like. I implore you to, these are just experiences that I've gone through. Like I said, I am in no way a medical professional. I would love for you to, reach out directly for a private session or find someone else to hold space for you. I really, just going into this, very magical space, I could not recommend having someone hold space for you higher. I also do not think that it should be a friend. If you are going to be exchanging services with that friend, make it a deal so that when you go into that session, you treat that person as a client, and then you go into their session and they treat you as a client. It's very, very difficult in this time right now for us to be leaning on just our friends to give us the support that we need. Paying for a session or exchanging energy in whatever capacity that means for you is imperative to what it is that we're stepping into. But again, these are just my personal opinions and my personal offerings. So if this is not for you, please just kindly scroll past my face, and that's okie dokie. I am not a guru in any capacity. I am someone here offering tools that have helped for me to give you access to tools that can help yourself. I also would just love to plant a seed for you to download a search engine, not just Google, but maybe DuckDuckGo, that's not tracking all it is that you see, and maybe just do an experiment of Googling, what is an intrusive thought, and see what comes up, and then DuckDuckGoing, what is an intrusive thought, and see what comes up. Just for your own validation and research, because I know when I was fully indoctrinated and when I was fully under the spell, you could not convince me of anything. I had to experience myself. So please do your own research in every single bit of what it is that we talk about here, because it's heavy shit. So what I've done is put up on the board here, just, for the general chart. Oh my God, you guys. And yeah, this is the Pussy Willow wand. It's so cool. I made it a longer one. It's so cool. So I've put up the general chart for us that starts with Aries and goes all the way over to Pisces. As we know, Aries is the infant of the zodiac. This is the storefront window, the beginning, the rising sign. And then we go all the way around to, like Aquarius is I saw this perspective online the other day. Aquarius is like the old people, like the seniors that are just like walking around the diner eating French fries off of people's plates, giving zero fucks. Zero fucks. That's Aquarius. And then Pisces, a little bit of the afterlife, where it's the illusion of, everything is beautiful and everything is wonderful, but so much can be made up, and so much can, like, they live half in this life, half in the other world. Half in the dream space, half in the physical world, which can be so beautiful and so wonderful. But we have Saturn in Pisces right now, and we have Neptune in Pisces right now. So this is the chart for the day, 17th of June, 2023, where Saturn's going to go retrograde. I think it was at like 6 or 7 degrees. I didn't write the whole chart down, but at the very beginning of this house. So step by step, lens by lens. Saturn's our Papa Time. Saturn's our heavy-hitting planet. Saturn's the disciplinarian inside of us that, regardless of, sign placement, where it is in our chart, it's a little bit like, fuck. As 29-year-olds know, you have your Saturn return, and it's just like, everything I haven't been tending to is breaking down, and it feels great and awesome. Cool. It's like your grandpa inside your brain. It's like, did you do that yet? Why the fuck not? And so that's Saturn. In whatever sign it's in is going to be kind of like the voice that it speaks through. So, Saturn in Aries would just be like very infantile, sharp fucking like, you really suck at that. You really fucking suck. You really fuck that shit up. Saturn in Taurus would just be like, well, nothing's ever going to work out. You just you have so many taxes to pay. Just fucking, oh God. Personally, I have Saturn in Sagittarius. So my Papa Time is like, you fucking idiot. I can't fucking believe that you did that. Are you fucking serious, dude? You have so much to offer. You have so much good things, but you just sit at home with your mental health fucking problems? So like when I wake up and I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on? My Capricorn moon and my Saturn and Sag are just like, don't even get out of bed yet. You haven't monetized shit. You haven't done shit. I'm like, I just have to pee. And they're like, nah, fuck off. You don't get to. If you're not a multi fucking millionaire, then why the fuck aren't you doing things? My Saturn and Sag is in my second house. So like, it's fun for everybody involved. Okay. Sorry. So Saturn, throughout the signs, Saturn in Pisces. And this is, again, a heavy-hitting video. This is talking about mental health. We're talking about intrusive thoughts. We're talking about so many different things. Well, Saturn in Pisces, illusion, disillusion, this is the 12th house, soul purpose, healing, closure, and coming home. So 12th sign, 12th house. It's, legacy is up here, but legacy as far as like humaning, this is like legacy as far as like what you came here to do. Your soul lives on, but your human avatar does not. So this is kind of like the speech that they give at your funeral type stuff. Like, what do you want them to say about you afterwards? So Saturn's going to be going retrograde on the 17th of June. At the same time, we have this little guy up here, that's Pluto, retrograde, back in the sign of Capricorn. So that's top-down authority. That's, this is the last bit of this transit that's been going on since 2008. So think of all the really like intense structures that have been breaking down since 2008, crises, all these different things. When Pluto goes into Aquarius, this is going to be power to the people and kind of rebuilding. This will be a 20-year transit. Starting next year. And so Pluto going into Aquarius is really going to be like, help yourself. save yourself and then save the world. Finding the people that, have similar mindsets as you, community, friendship, future wishes. This is like rebuilding. This is like everybody going out and buying acres of land with their community and, starting their own worlds. So Pluto going back into Cap is like the final stand of the top-down authority. That's happening. We have the North Node, our collective destiny, finishing up its transit in Taurus. So next month it's going to be going into Aries. And the South Node has been in Scorpio, in the 8th house of death, rebirth, toxic sexuality, toxic patterns. So a lot of that nasty stuff has been coming out. A lot of the child sex trafficking issues, the Illuminati and all that really messed up stuff. And, the things that we've, think of the scorpion tail that a lot of people put into their bodies that really are not safe or healthy and maybe had some nefarious intent behind them. So we're seeing a lot of that. So this is like the final stand of like the old past life patterns going in, like finishing up in Scorpio. We have the sun and the moon, we're coming into the new moon around this time. Again, I'm talking about the 17th of June. In Gemini, we have Mercury in Gemini. So we have a lot of like information coming to us. We're getting so much happening, so much of this. I want to talk, I want to be out, I want to go here, I want to do that, I want to have this. Mercury going into Gemini as well is going to be a little bit scatterbrained. We're all going to be a little bit scatterbrained, and not like this by itself does not to me equate to confusion, but this mixed with this, and especially over here, it's kind of like the theme of, when you wake up after having a dream where, if you're in a relationship, your spouse has cheated on you, or if you're not in a relationship, a friend really fucked you over, or you lost your job, whatever it may be, and you carry that you carry that with you all day. And it's not fun. It's really not fun. That's like an everyday energy that's happening over here. And the sun, this is like the base of the tree of our life right down here. This is like home, safety, early stuff, like early learning, like all the roots of the tree of our life are down here. So you see there's a lot of activity over here. This is our public life up here. These are relationships. This is where we want to do shit on our own. So getting misinformation, a lot of stuff coming in, dreams, waking life, downloads, intrusive thoughts, all confused, all mixed together. And then Saturn, this heavy hitter, going retrograde in Pisces in our house of soul purpose. This to me is just very, you're all alone. Nobody understands you. Nobody ever will understand you. Sacrifice yourself for the greater good. It's intense stuff. So I'm going to speak from I statements, and I'm going to tell a little bit of what my intrusive thoughts and my intrusive self-sacrificial thoughts sound like. And I'll just give a disclaimer before I say this is really fucked up shit. So if you're not in a space to hear fucked up shit, then maybe pause this video and come back to it when you're in a space to hear fucked up shit. So this year alone, 2023, I've had a lot of intense just mental health bubbling up of things that I've dealt with, things that have happened to me. But I mean, definitely go back and watch my video, The Past Life Tales of Getting Stabbed in the Back. That's a super, super fun one as well. But so this to me reminds me a little bit of what I experienced earlier this year, where my intrusive thoughts were very overpowering. The depression was very overpowering, and it would be like a foghorn going off in my brain that had just said, Robin Williams yourself, dear. Robin Williams yourself. And I don't know if the term intrusive thought is not something that you're familiar with. It's kind of like when you're driving down the road and you have a thought that says, drive off the road, or you're driving past a family and they're like, hit the family, and you're cutting up vegetables and it's like, cut your finger off. Or you're like, well, that wasn't me. I don't know what that came from. But definitely do your own research on that. but the intrusive thoughts that I would receive on a regular basis. And this really started around the beginning of March, which is when Saturn went into Pisces, the first week of March, I want to say. And it was like, you should Robin Williams yourself, Sarah. You should definitely just kill yourself. And you should definitely, like, you're so happy. Nobody would expect it. Nobody would really, like, think that anything was going on. But you doing this would give everyone else the understanding that, like, they should look at their own mental health stuff. So you should definitely just sacrifice yourself. This would be going off like a foghorn in my brain on a regular basis. Regardless of what I was doing, regardless of where I was, it would be like literally listening to, like, imagine like your next door neighbor not changing the batteries in their smoke detector, and it would just constantly be beeping, but you had absolutely no way to do anything about it. So I'd be working at the restaurant, be like, would you like Pellegrino or Aqua Panna? It's like, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. Do it now. Go to the bathroom. Do it now. Have it now. Do it now. And so thank you for listening and for staying with me on this one, because I had literally been going for a walk with a friend of mine that at the time had had a miscarriage. And it was a very powerful time for that friend of mine. And no matter where they went, they're like, I'm going to share my story so that the people around me can feel comfortable to share theirs and to know that they're not alone. And she said to me in a very powerful walk that we had, she goes, it's kind of fucked up because people will accept what I'm experiencing more than they will accept what you are experiencing right now. Because it's easier for people to see something physical that's going on. Somebody hurts themselves, somebody like has to have a hip replacement, somebody has a miscarriage, somebody has something physical that you can see happening. That's easier for a lot of people to wrap their head around than something that's mental health related. And I, have also been years ago within the system where they gave you just medication, placate this, do this, do this, do this, do this. So the more that I stepped away from that, the more that I felt my feelings and, getting my IUD removed, finally feeling into my femininity, finally understanding what I was doing within the indoctrinated society and really stepping into my healing space and era, like, what's fucked up, what comes up? But I'm not placating myself anymore. I'm not, smoking cannabis flower all day so that when those things happen, I really have to feel them and I have to find my own meditation and my own grounding within my own space. The nodal transits, that's what I wanted to reference. When the North Node goes into Aries and the South Node goes into Libra, it's definitely, when does that happen? That's going to be in July 12th, I believe, of 2023. That is going to feel like you're your own savior. You're your own champion. You do things on your fucking own and you take care of yourself. My natal North Node is in Aries. So it's like releasing the toxic patterns of leaning on people that really don't actually understand you, or really letting go of every single bit of a codependent friendship, relationship, family relationship, partnership, all of that. All of that. So I also want to reference Neptune in Pisces over here. Neptune is like our Poseidon in the sky, and Neptune is definitely this is a lot of water energy. This is like Neptune is a little bit in this world and in the other world. I always say that Neptune can be, this tidal wave that comes into your life and removes everything. And you look up at Neptune, Poseidon, you're like, what the fuck? You just took everything away. You destroyed my life. A tidal wave of divine light. And Neptune's like, but now you have all this space for healthy activities, child. Healthy activities. So this planet right over here is going to be going retrograde as well on the 30th of June. So we're going to have both of these illusion-disillusion planets. This illusion-disillusion planet in the sign of this life and the next with our heaviest hitter, both retrograde in our collective house of soul purpose and coming home. As starseeds and light workers, we know that there's been a lot of brazen death that's been going on, and we understand that reality. But for so many people that do not have access to this information, that do not maybe even believe in astrology or believe in the woo-woo, they're going to be waking up and they're going to be having dreams. They're going to be having dreams of their ancestors coming to them. Like, but my grandpa wants me to come home. My grandpa wants me to do this. Like, or I am this. I am my grandpa. I am Jesus. I am this. Like, I have to do the thing that they did. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Alrighty, Rainy Rooney, Sarah. So now what the fuck do we do about this? Ground every day. Have a practice every single morning and every single night that makes you feel safe inside yourself. I have a crash course, the Awakeners Crash Course and Quest, which is a purchase for $22.22 that has, just 2.5 hours of Sarah just giving you like the 101s of meditation, astrology, tarot, leadership, foundations. Like, what do you do when you have your awakening, talking to your team? This is a really intense stuff, my dear leaders. And if you have not had your awakening yet, or if the people around you have not had their awakening yet, they contracted a very, very efficient and powerful, like explosive understanding of what the fuck is actually going on this planet. I was sitting at the cafe the other day, and there was a really awkward moment that happened where I was chatting with a dear friend of mine, and one of their, acquaintances, for lack of a better term, had come over and was joining within this conversation. And they philosophize a lot, and kind of have the foundation of like, what is it that you're like, what the reading different poetries and understanding a lot of different philosophies of a lot of people that have come before us, where I definitely am in a much more galactic, much more multidimensional space, and I really only, study the things that really bring me joy and light me up. So I had made a comment about, everybody gets free will. And my friend really had said to the other person, like, she's not talking about free will in the way that you're thinking. He's in a more space of like an Einstein free will where you're talking about something different. He's like, I get you, I see you, but I don't think that he gets you and stuff. Because for me, and I can only speak from my statements, is that free will is, do we awaken or not? Do you become the best version, the most authentic version of yourself and process your traumas or not? Are you getting off the karmic cycle, or are you going to go to the dwarf planet? Are you staying or are you going? We all get to choose. We all get to have free will. So that's just an aside about that. But when we have this understanding, when we have the foundation of the astrology, when we have the foundation of the awakening, when we have the foundation of like our magical tools, whether they be tarot, meditation, channeling, whatever it is for you, sound healing, Reiki, massage, whatever it is that works for you, that makes you feel safe in your skin, safe in your body, not identifying with your thoughts or your brain, but saying, I am consciousness running this meat suit, and my meat suit is experiencing something that has never happened to physical humans before. We've never gone through a process where we evolve from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, that our bodies physically evolve. This has never been done before in the entirety of the universe. That's why we have so much help within our galactic friends, with the astrology that's telling us that this has been coming. So much do we have good access to. But without a foundation, it's like when you first awaken, you're like, everything's beautiful and great and wonderful and lovely. And then this transit is going to be like, the entire world is corrupt, and every single celebrity that I've ever loved has been a part of a blood sex ritual, and that's why they're famous. But then we come back to our souls came here to experience this, and it is an incredible honor to be alive right now. Like, I know that there are billions of us on the planet, but that's out of infinity beings that all wanted to come here to the Earth School right now and participate in what's happening. It's historic beyond historic. And we will look back at this time. You know, a lot of people have said it's like, has been, 2020 to like 2024, 2026, whatever that may be, or 2012 till now. Like there's so many different perspectives. So definitely do your own research. But we are in the middle of the demolition of the old. And so that's why we can't always see through the cloud to get to the future. Like I can see later on in my life where we're past all of this, where there's, clean energy technology and everyone has access to that. And, I want to live in a world where everyone has a horse and buggy and also a flying car. So it's like that level of like galactic integrated into the old. But I know that there's a whole collective of people that really appreciate the technological world and the metaverse and really want to live in that. And that's their version of 5D. So there's going to be so many different like sub countries, and they're just going to blend together. It's not going to be so like boundary. It's going to be, no one owns this land. We're all here to heal Mother Earth, but because my vibration is different than yours, live and let live, and you go over there and I go over there, so we don't have to constantly have that riffraff, if that makes sense. I don't think there's anything more within the astrology that needs to be tended to. The image that they're giving me is, I was channeling the other day, and the healer that's holding space for me had recommended that I put together a new altar for my main deity. And so I was connecting with Green Terra. A lot of you know that, I would travel a lot before 2020 and been to Thailand numerous times. I have a stick and poke tattoo here, and I'm just very in love with the Buddhist way. It's just a very beautiful, kind way of like, when you accept that the world is suffering and that everything, like we come in like new cars and we're just depreciating in value until death. Like it's, once you see that and you accept that and you surrender to it, you can't have a bad day. So I was channeling the other day, and I record a lot of my channels, and since I'm still coming into it, it's just cool to go back and to reference. But I was connecting to Green Tara, and I had really just like let her voice come through me, and there was a point that she was declaring, I am Green Tara. I am Green Tara. And I'm just in this state of bliss and clearly channeling and things like that. But for someone who does not have the foundation, I just said, I am Green Tara. My human avatar said, I am Green Tara. So somebody might come out of a channel with Yeshua. They might come out of a channel with Neptune, with any of these beings, Mother Mary, and say, I am Yeshua. I am the second coming. I am this. Because if you don't understand what's actually happening, that's very confusing. That's very, very confusing. That's a lot. That's a lot to unpack. And I know that we've kind of just gone on a few different little side fractals there, but I kind of hope that we're wrapping it up. What are they saying? Yeah, what is your foundation that every single morning brings you back to center? Does it include meditation? Does it include exercise? Does it include listening to, some really inspirational, empowering content? Is it journaling? Is it, going for a walk? What is it that you can do every single morning and every single night that reminds you who you really are? That brings you back to the center of your understanding? Because it's definitely time. We've been talking, this community, we've been talking since March about, even since before that, about meditation. I think that I've really been highlighting in my Pisces videos, like meditate. And for any Pisces placement, sun, moon, and rising, any placement, you're gonna feel like it is not enjoyable. I definitely, like for me, Saturn is sitting directly on top of my natal Mercury. So makes so much sense the downloads that I'm receiving are through and through clear channel, but it's also like intrusive thoughts, all the things, purging at the same time. Things are slowed down. Things can be confusing. So again, I only speak from I statements, and I can only speak from what I am experiencing. But with all of this happening right now, I'm not the only one that's experiencing this vibration. So I hope that what I'm going through and the information that I'm offering to you right now can be very helpful for you. And please comment below if you feel safe to do so with what you're going through. What planets do you have in Pisces? What are you feeling as these transits are going on? Are you 29? Are you having your Saturn return right now? What does that feel like? What house is that in? Like, really deep dive into your own chart and find out, we are all God having a human experience. So tend to your needs first so you can be helpful for others. There are days that we just have to feel what we're feeling and let it wash over us and know that we're safe to do so. That's okie dokie. But these things are not slowing down. And it's incredible because as a collective, we contracted these transits and we came here to experience this, good, bad, or ugly. But I find that my foresight is telling me that it's just going to be very confusing for a lot of people, solely based on the fact that not everyone is choosing to do the foundational little things right now. So let's help our community, let's help the world by helping ourselves. I think that's it. I love you. I'm Sarah. I'm your alien friend. I'm here to be helpful if I ever can be. Please comment below what you're going through, and please, my email address is always listed in the description of every single one of my videos. So if you're keen for a personal reading, a personal session, please reach out directly, and we'll book that privately. I believe in you. I really do. And I know that we can handle anything that happens outside of us. But I want you to feel safe in your skin right now. I want you to feel safe in your mind and safe in your heart. When it comes to mental health and when it comes to our brain, I always say that our brain is a muscle. It's a figuring out machine. And we don't get mad at our heart for beating or our lungs for breathing. So let's try not to get mad at our brain for being healthy and open and experiencing these thoughts. Because it's an honor to be alive right now. And we need every single one of you. I love you. Ciao.